Waveguides, fields and waves in circular waveguides. Series on microwave engineering, lecture number 1.30. Hollow pipe waveguides with circular cross section are called circular waveguides. They have a certain specific applications, like in carrying a wave from or to a circularly polarized antenna. In the present session, our focus is on the analysis of circular waveguides, that is, determining the fields at a point in the hollow region when the guide is carrying a traveling wave. To accomplish this task, let us first consider the structure of the waveguide. Let us suppose the circular waveguide has an inner radius of A. A is used a standard symbol for radius of circular waveguide. Let us also suppose it is lying along z-axis, carrying a traveling wave in positive z direction. The guide is assumed to be very long so that no possibility of existence of a reflected wave or standing wave pattern. The walls of the guide, see, cross section is like this. This is wall. The wall is made, it is assumed that wall is made with a perfect conductor. This is hollow region. Hollow region is assumed to be perfect dielectric. Perfect conductor means sigma tending to infinity, conductivity very high. Dielectric means sigma tending to 0. But in practice, sigma equal to 0, sigma tending to infinity, both are not achievable. In the analysis, we assume sinusoidal time variations, and the entire analysis is done in phasor domain. Here is shown a diagram of circular waveguide. It consists of a wall, circular wall. Flange is there, both sides. You have two flanges. These are useful to connect one waveguide with another waveguide. The analysis is done in cylindrical coordinate system. The reason is circular waveguide, it exhibits cylindrical symmetry. So cylindrical coordinate system is an appropriate one. We place the circular waveguide along z-axis with the axis of the guide falling over z-axis as shown in the diagram. Phi is azimuth angle, phi is indicated. Here wave motion is assumed to be upwards in positive z direction. Hollow region is shown. Wall of the waveguide is shown. Inner radius, everything is shown. Now, with respect to this particular configuration, we try to evaluate. We consider an arbitrary point somewhere in the hollow region. We try to find out what is E, what is H. Finding fields inside the guide is a multi-step process. In the first step, transverse components are expressed in terms of longitudinal ones. Transverse means normal. When wave is traveling in Z direction, Z component, EZ, HZ, they are longitudinal components, parallel to direction of propagation. Then what are transverse components? Components which are normal to direction of propagation, normal to Z direction. They are, in the present situation, they are rho and phi. E rho, E phi are transverse components. H rho, H phi are also transverse components, whereas EZ, HZ are longitudinal ones. So first step is we try to find out expressions for transverse components in terms of longitudinal ones. In the second step, we solve the longitudinal components. We find out expressions for longitudinal components using wave equations. Once longitudinal components are available, those expressions can be substituted in the expressions which we had in the first step to have all the field components. First step we do in the present session. Next step, that is wave equation, applying wave equation to find longitudinal components. That aspect we leave it to the next session. So in the present session, first step we tackle. Starting point is we define the problem by specifying constituent parameters sigma, mu, epsilon and the structure. We consider circular waveguide. We consider the walls of the waveguide made with perfect conductor. That is, sigma is infinity, tends to infinity as far as walls of the guide is concerned. When it comes to hollow region, we assume it's a perfect dielectric. It means sigma is 0. We also assume it is non-magnetic, so mu equal to mu epsilon, mu equal to mu naught. We also assume it's a dielectric, therefore epsilon equal to epsilon. If it is air or free space, then epsilon becomes epsilon naught. Otherwise, epsilon equal to epsilon. Appropriate coordinate system already we have selected. It is cylindrical, as the structure exhibits cylindrical symmetry. We consider Maxwell's curl equations. This is preparation before going to the actual procedural steps, procedure, certain preparations are required to be made. These are preparations. Maxwell's curl equations are considered. We expand them to get two sets of total 6 component equations. Maxwell's curl equations are vector equations and they give 3 component equations. Each vector equation gives rise to 3 component equations. So 2 curl equations give total 6. Selecting one from each set, relations for transverse components in terms of longitudinal ones can be derived. This is the way we approach step 1. In general, E is a vector quantity, 3 components, rho, phi, z. We are in cylindrical system, therefore E rho, E phi, E z, rho cap, phi cap, z cap is unit vectors. Similarly, H, these are components, H rho, H phi, H z are components. Out of 6 components, E rho, E phi, E z, H rho, H phi, H z, E rho, E phi, H rho, H phi are normal or transverse components, whereas E z, H z are longitudinal ones. They are parallel to direction of propagation. Wave is traveling in positive z direction. Naturally, Ez, Hz are parallel to direction of propagation. Rho, phi are normal to z. Therefore, E rho, E phi, H rho, H phi are normal or transverse components. In general, you consider one component E rho. E rho is function of, in general, 3 components, space components, and one time. As the wave is traveling in z direction, the z dependence of the field can be expressed as e power minus gamma bar z. Here gamma is propagation constant. Bar is used to indicate that the wave is non-TEM. You are going to see the wave inside hollow pipe waveguides is always non-TEM. And analysis is done in phasor domain. It means we assumed time variations sinusoidal. Therefore, sinusoidal variations can be expressed as e power j omega t. So, in general, E rho is function of 4 variables. It is quite complex, but in the given situation, wave is traveling in z direction and time variations are sinusoidal. Therefore, z dependence can be expressed as e power minus gamma bar z. Time variations can be expressed as e power j omega t. And we are left with determining field variation with respect to rho and phi. So I can write E rho phi zt as E rho phi multiplied by these 2 exponentials. Same is the case with phi z components, also H rho H phi Hz components of magnetic field too. Now Maxwell's curl equations are shown. Del cross H equal to j omega epsilon E. This is Ampere Maxwell's law. Whereas second one, del cross E equal to minus j omega mu H. This is Faraday's law. Note, actually this equation is del cross H equal to sigma E plus j omega epsilon E. This is the complete equation. But sigma E is 0. Reason is, this is the waveguide. I want field somewhere here at a point in the hollow region. Conductivity in the hollow region is 0. So sigma is 0. I want field here where conductivity is 0. Therefore, this part becomes 0. You are left with only this. Wave motion. Now, next step is we are going to expand these 2 equations to get 6 component equations. While performing expansion, we include dou by dou z equal to minus gamma bar. As wave is traveling in z direction, dou by dou z is equivalent to minus gamma bar. We implement this one. It is shown here. Del cross H j omega epsilon. This is the expansion. Note, we are in cylindrical system. So del cross H in the cylindrical system is slightly different from del cross H in Cartesian. Rho cap, rho phi cap, z cap, dou by dou rho, dou by dou phi, dou by dou z. For dou by dou z, we can replace gamma bar. H rho H phi, H z. Of course, right hand side, we have j omega epsilon, E rho cap, E phi cap, E z cap. Similarly, del cross E also. We can expand 1 by rho, and here already we have replaced dou by dou z by minus gamma bar. Right side we have. Now after expanding the determinant left hand side and equating the components, rho component, phi component, z component, we will be getting 3 equations. The second one also gives another set of 3 equations, total 6 equations. Combining one equation from one set, another equation from another set, taking one equation from one set, another equation from another set, combining them, manipulating, we will be able to arrive the relations which are shown here. H rho is minus gamma bar by H square, dou H z by dou rho. plus j omega epsilon by h square dou Ez by rho dou phi. Similarly, h pi, h e rho e phi. Note, left hand side what we have is h rho, h phi, e rho, e phi. As already mentioned, these are transverse components, transverse normal to direction of propagation. Right hand side you have hz, ez, hz, ez, ez, hz, ez, hz. What are they? These are longitudinal components. So in this particular manipulation of Maxwell's curl equations, what we did is, what we are able to achieve is, transverse components are expressed in terms of longitudinal components. Now somehow if we are able to have expressions for derive expressions for Ez and Hz, h rho, h phi, e rho, e phi, then we compute it easily by differentiation. We take up the task of finding Ez and Hz using wave equation in the next session. Before going further, let me tell you, here all the fields are rho phi dependent. There is no z inside inside hz, there is no z. Inside hz, there is no t, only rho phi dependent. And what is gamma? Gamma is propagation constant. Bar is used because this propagation pertains to non-TEM wave. For TEM wave, it is simply bar, simply without bar, whereas for non-TEM wave, bar is used. Then what is h square? H square is gamma square, propagation constant square, plus omega square, frequency square, mu epsilon. These are constants, constitutive parameters pertaining to the hollow region. H has a name, cutoff wave number. This equation, h square equal to gamma square, omega square, mu epsilon. This is called characteristic equation. It has lot of importance in waveguide theory. In fact, from this equation, we derive the filter characteristics of waveguides. Before going further, note, characteristic equation in this form, it is valid for parallel plate guides, for circular waveguides, even for rectangular waveguides too. Now, with both longitudinal components 0, Ez 0, Hz 0, you can find from the expressions there, E rho, E phi, H rho, H phi. They are all in terms of Ez and Hz. If both Ez and Hz are 0, then what is happening? All the four components are 0. So total 6 components, all are zeros. What does it mean? It implies there is no wave. So with Ez 0, Hz 0, field components become 0, indicating wave with the components transverse. Transverse EM wave or TEM wave cannot exist inside a waveguide. TEM wave cannot exist. When Ez not equal to 0 but Hz equal to 0, all the components are not 0, indicating the possibility of existence of a wave in the waveguide. This wave is called TM wave. Hz is, see, Hz 0 means, let us say this is z direction, wave is traveling in z direction. Hz 0 means H is like this, transverse normal. Now if you try to find out field component parallel to z direction, you don't get anything, 0, because it is entirely normal. Ez may be like this, may have a component, must have a component, right? Similarly, Ez 0, Hz not 0. This type of wave also can exist. This wave is called TE wave. Graphically, I can show you like this. This is z direction, wave is traveling in z direction. Ez 0 means E is like this, entirely transverse, no z component. Hz may be like this. It has a Hz, this is E, this is H. Now H is having a component along z direction. Hz non-zero. That type of wave is called TE wave. When Ez not 0, Hz not 0, what does it mean? Wave is traveling like this, E may be like this, H may be like this, E, H. You can see here E is having a component along direction of propagation, H also direction of propagation. Therefore, Ez, Hz are non-zeros. What he says is, from those expressions, the field components are non-zero, indicating the existence of wave in the waveguide. This wave is often called hybrid wave, mixed wave. It is a combination of TM and TE waves. Therefore, it is also called TE plus TM wave. So 3 names are there: TE plus TM wave, hybrid wave, or mixed wave. This is what I want to share with you. This is first part or first step in the analysis of circular waveguides. In the second part or in the second next session, we discuss about finding fields, longitudinal components of the fields using wave equations. Enough for now.